Okay, I think we're live.
And going on there. Let me see who we're live here. It says upcoming. Let me see.
Oh yeah,
Look,
there we are. We're live. Oh, hello, Linus.
oh, he walked in.
Yeah. All right, here we are. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're just doing a little pre-show just to get ready. Let me get the cat out of the room.
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Well, I'm gonna close the door so
Alrighty, so we are here and we're live.
Hey everyone, we are actually you're live on there. I was gonna do I can't manage the banners with that up full screen. All right, so we're trying live episode.
Yeah.
I think this is episode 253 as it comes out next. And I also can't see the chats like this. So I'm just going to, is this how we get rid of it?
No.
Exit full screen.
I think it's better the other way. But
well, yeah, I want to be able to see that one there, not on here. So cool. We're working through the kinks. And here we go. Fulton, happy birthday. So we are going to be recording here on YouTube, and welcome. And we're also going to be recording this as an episode for the show. We'll have to do lots of editing there. But we don't do a lot of live, so bear with us as we go through this here at the beginning. If you're watching us live, Andrew and Fulton, if you are hearing us okay, just drop us a thing in the chat so we make sure you can hear us okay. But happy birthday, Fulton, 25th birthday. Congratulations on that. And we're also using a new microphone because I got a new microphone for Christmas, and we want to make sure that it's working correctly. So if you're hearing us on the recording, just drop a thing in the chat letting us know that you can hear us okay. How's that?
I'm trying to fix it.
Okay.
I'm doing what I'm doing.
It's all good.
It's really annoying. Being annoying. Okay, we got it.
Hey, we're alive, so let's try not to be. I'll try not to annoy you too much. All right, you're good on our end. And Lazel's in. Okay, you want to hit record on there, or do because we're gonna have to edit all this anyway.
I don't want to do all of the editing. I think we should hit record when we're ready to actually record.
Make sure you mute the others.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so this live episode we're recording, like we said, is our predictions episode. So last week we went over our predictions from 2024, and now we're going over our predictions for 2025. So we've got the list of everything coming out in our categories. And yeah, it's going to be a fun show.
It is going to be a fun show. And I want to make sure, do I have a Disney dad joke? I do. Do you have a trivia question? Mm-hmm. You do. And I think we're going to get started here in just a minute. We're letting a few other people jump in. We got some people watching out there on the live stream on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much. All right, are you ready? You hit record in a second?
Yes.
Hold on. Let me get ready. Okay. Unicorns eat candy corn. Okay. Unicorns eat candy corn. I got a new suit in New York. I bought a new suit in New York.
Let's start now.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Here we go. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Assembled. I'm Troy.
And I'm Mimi.
And we are your happy little father-daughter podcast, here to create joy and share our love for all things Disney.
Disney Assembled is sponsored by our patrons over on Patreon. If you would like to join them, check out patreon.com/Disney Assembled.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate your consideration for that. Membership starts as little as $2 per month. With that, you get access to all the exclusive patron-only content. We are live on the Disney Assembled YouTube channel.
We are.
Little claps for us. We deserve it. Trying.
Yeah, but we're live. So we're recording this episode live. And so yeah, if you're listening on your podcatcher, you're hearing us on the recording, and if you're live, you're listening to us right there. So you're getting a sneak peek on this week's episode because it'll come out on Sunday. And
right.
But everyone who's watching will see it now.
Well, if you're watching, you got all the pre-recording content, right? Because we did some pre-recording content there. And then, but if you're listening to the podcast, you're just going to get the regular podcast version. It is December 26th, 2024. It's the day after Christmas. So if you celebrated Christmas yesterday, we hope you had a fantastic Christmas. That
also
was great
yesterday.
Congratulations. So if you're celebrating Hanukkah, we hope you have a wonderful, is it 8 days? 8 days of Hanukkah?
Yes. And Kwanzaa started today. So if you fall into any of those categories, happy holidays.
Plenty to celebrate, plenty to go around, and plenty of reasons for everyone to share some joy that we're trying to create. I'm also using a new microphone because you got me a new microphone for Christmas.
Yeah, it was like me and Mom's idea or our Christmas present to you.
So there you go. Those is happy, merry, holly, jolly holidays. So congratulations. Thank you guys for wishing us that. We're glad you're joining us. And so we're going to jump in here in just a minute. But like I said,
let's backtrack on the mic really quick. So
Papa
was recording on a no-name brand regular microphone. And you probably wouldn't be able to tell because it was a pretty decent quality. Like it was fine. It worked. But I was recording on my Blue Igloo. So I had an Igloo. This was Papa's microphone. And
so if you're watching on the YouTube, it's actually not a bad mic. It's actually a pretty good mic, but for some reason it just wasn't connecting anymore.
And it wasn't working, and it was old, and so we upgraded Papa to a Blue Yeti. Yeah. So now you're in the fancy boat.
Yep, there we are.
The Blue Yeti people. I do not have a Blue Yeti. I still have my Snowball.
It's all good.
She's fine. She works.
She's beautiful. She looks a lot like the thing that what is it? The at the end of The Incredibles.
Oh yeah.
Or the villain from The Incredibles. Yeah. It looks like the villain from The Incredibles attacking everyone.
Yeah, she's cute. But yeah, Papa's got a Blue Yeti, and I was very, very excited to buy that for him. So.
Absolutely. Jeffers, thanks for joining. Yes. It's good to see you out there. I met Jeffers in September.
Cool.
Good man from Canada. So we have more friends from the Great White North.
3 friends from Canada.
We now know 3 people.
I just watched the episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney goes to Canada with Robin, and then he yells at all the people in Canada. He's like, "Why is your money fake? And get better, and you'll never be America." And blah. Maybe he was like, "Maybe one day, if you're lucky enough, you'll get to be a state too."
Enough. We're glad you guys are visiting with us at least for a little while today. Like Mimi said earlier, we're doing our 2025 Disney content predictions today. Last week's episode, the one that's on your podcast player right now, was a review of our 2024 podcast predictions. And so we're hoping that at least one of us, me, does a little bit better this year in the predictions. We got lots of content to go through. We also have a trivia question from last week that we have to give the answer to. We have a new trivia question at the end of this episode. And of course, we'll have our first post-Christmas Disney dad joke of the week. All right.
And this is the last one of 2024. Sunday is the 29th.
Right.
So this is
we probably won't have another. So this will be the last Disney dad joke.
2024 episode of Disney Assembled. So
oh my goodness.
Everybody clap and cheer, I suppose.
Congratulations.
For 5 years of Disney Assembled. Yay.
Yay.
Okay.
All right. So you want to go through the trivia question answer from last week first?
Andrew says on the chat that it was a hard question. And honestly, if I had been on the receiving end where I was listening to it instead of reading it, like I do read it,
right,
I would also be confused. But since I read it, I was like, oh, I know what they are. Okay. So the question from last week was, who are the animated characters Calliope, Cleo? How did we determine how to say this?
Melpomene.
Well, sure.
Melpomene,
Terpsichore, and Talia. And the answer is the Muses from Hercules. So in case you didn't know, Muses from Hercules actually have names, and these are their names. And if you got that correct, congratulations.
If you got that, you're pretty smart. I don't know if I would have gotten that one either.
Yeah,
but
I probably wouldn't have got it correct, but I did because I was reading it. So
yeah. So there we go. All right, anyway, that was last week's answer.
Yeah, so stick around to the end of this week's episode for a new trivia question of the week. So
yeah,
what's up for this week?
Well, this week we have a new Disney dad joke of the week, and we also have a new trivia question of the week at the end of the episode. But this week we're going to talk about our predictions for 2025 content. Do you want to go through the categories and then the content, or do you want me to do the dad joke first?
Do the dad joke first, and then we'll keep all of the content stuff.
Well, I'm afraid to do the dad joke now because if I do it now, that's what everyone's tuned in for, and then they'll just stop watching or
I don't think
listening.
so.
You don't think so?
No.
You think they'll stick around?
Yeah.
So there's two dangers of doing the dad joke now. One, if you're only listening to get the dad joke, then there's no reason to stick around unless you really want to hear the content. The other danger is if the joke is so bad that they just turn us off and take their business elsewhere.
Do the joke now.
Do the joke now?
The joke in the beginning.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Disney fans of all sorts, it is time for this week's Disney dad joke of the week. Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
I love the custodial cast members at all the Disney parks, right? At all of them. And if it's your birthday, they have a special way of celebrating your birthday in the Disney parks.
How do they celebrate my birthday?
They throw a supplies party. Get it? Because they're custodians.
Supplies party.
And they have like a supply closet.
Yes.
And so they yell, supplies.
Okay. Well,
okay.
That was that.
That was this week's Disney dad joke of the week. Listen, if you have a dad joke of the Disney variety that you think is better than that, then you're probably correct. But you need to send it to us, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or as a message on all of the reputable socials at Disney Assemble. That's Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. We're still on TikTok as long as it's still like legal. And we're on X. We've stopped using X.
Don't text us on X.
Yeah, we're not using X that much.
See it. Yeah. We're not going to see it on X.
Facebook's good.
Facebook's good. Facebook. I just joined Facebook as an individual, like as a person, not as Disney Assembled.
Right.
And I feel like I've been missing out on a ton of really awesome content on Facebook.
Well,
it's very funny.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids to post photos of those, so I just post pictures of my cat.
All right. So Frank was definitely surprised by the custodial cabinets here, brother. He was surprised, Jeffers. It was a glorious celebration.
I wasn't there.
I
wasn't invited.
Well, you were everyone was invited, but you weren't able to go. I just happened to be the one that went to be there. But all right. So the 2025 Disney content predictions. Let me go over the categories with everyone, because maybe there are people who are either watching on the YouTube or listening to us for the first time that didn't hear last week. They're not used to what we do for the content awards.
No, this is not content awards. This is predictions.
Predictions. That's all right. Predictions. Not
content awards. A different thing.
Content awards are different.
It's also different from the Corridor of Excellence.
That's true. So I'm very confused. I only own the show and I confuse myself. But these are the predictions for 2025 Disney content. By content, we mean like television series, feature films, right? Not social media content.
It has to be put on a screen.
So there are 6 things we typically do for our predictions. We do a best overall, which is sort of the best overall, right? I think the title says it. We have the most fun piece of content, because maybe it wasn't the best, but it was the one that we enjoyed, just had fun with, right? The biggest surprise, not the biggest supplies, the biggest surprise, the one that we thought was not going to be maybe as good as it really was, or maybe something that we thought was going to be really good and it really wasn't. Mm-hmm. We have the worst. Sorry, we will predict the worst. The biggest disappointment, probably the one that we had the highest hopes for, but fell the shortest of expectation. Right. And then, of course, we do bold predictions, which you love to do the bold predictions. Yeah. These are the predictions in bold font. Bold predictions.
Yeah, just kind of ones that don't really fit into a category, maybe something random, something niche, something sort of detailed, specific. So yeah.
Now looking at the content that is scheduled to be released in 2025, and I had to go on the internet to kind of pull these titles out, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like it's going to be an enormously heavy MCU 2025. There are a ton of things that are predicted or are supposed to be released in 2025 from the Marvel Studios or Marvel Animation Studios. There's only one piece of Star Wars content that I saw being released.
Okay.
And then the rest are sort of Disney and Pixar. So do you want to go through the list just in general, the content that we saw out there? I mean, and I know it's written in my handwriting, so you may have trouble reading some of it.
It seems like a heavy MCU year. Like we're back on the MCU show train, because they were kind of off on the shows for this year. Now they're back. So we've got Immediately, no. Immediately, I have no idea.
So the first one is Marvel's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is a piece of animation series.
Like
so
a
an
kid's
animated.
show?
No, it's just going to be Marvel Studios animation series, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, just kind of like X-Men's '97 sort of type.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
And we've got Captain America,
Brave New World.
Brave New World,
right?
Which is the new
Captain America
new
movie.
Captain America movie, new Captain America. Interested to see where that goes.
Mhm.
We've got the Daredevil TV show.
Yeah, Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I have no comments on. Literally, like I have no thoughts. Thunderbolts, and then we've got. Literally, this is actually not. These are not words.
These are words. Ironheart.
Ugh.
The Ironheart series.
Okay.
Eyes of Wakanda.
That is
Black
not
Panther,
what
Eyes of
that
Wakanda.
says.
That's
I
what it
almost
says.
want to show the live how bad this is.
Okay, we can show the live how bad
Let's
it
show
is.
the live.
Right. This is the handwriting.
Show them up close. What do you guys think this says? Nothing.
That's Eyes of Wakanda.
No, that says nothing.
The show notes.
That's lines. Anyway, Eyes of Wakanda.
Can you read that one?
No.
Marvel Zombies.
Oh God.
Yeah. Marvel
Okay.
Zombies. And the last one is Wonder Man.
Like you mean Wonder Woman?
He sits around and he just does this all day. He's just, that's what his superpower is. He sits around like this and he goes,
No, but like seriously, you mean Wonder Woman, right?
No, Wonder Man. Wonder Man is a Marvel hero. All right, so that's all the MCU. No, wait, one more. I forgot this one. Fantastic Four, First Steps.
Yes, with Pedro Pascal.
Right.
Oh, king.
Which I thought at first was like the Fantastic Four as babies, as toddlers, but apparently it is not.
Right. Speaking of Pedro Pascal, Star Wars, they have something coming out this year. Reportedly, we have Andor season 2 on the way. Right,
Yes.
that's what that says.
Yep.
Okay, reportedly Andor season 2. That does not have Pedro Pascal in it, but
No.
Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian, which is Star Wars, so that's obviously a natural transition there. Obviously.
Yes, Pedro Pascal is not Andor. That would be Diego Luna.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Okay.
This says custodial staff for the win. Exactly.
Right.
Custodial
Me
staff.
on my
members.
Disney College program. Okay, now last category is like Disney Animation,
Disney/Pixar,
Studios,
yeah.
Pixar. All those. That is a D and also another D.
That's a D and a P.
No, that's no. Look,
It's a D and a
Where
P.
is
It's
it?
slightly
Where is it? We're
elongated.
on the wrong side. The screen is mirrored, so I like struggling. It's here. I got it. Okay, this.
Yeah, it's a D and a P.
No.
It's a D on the left and a P on the right.
No. Anyway, Disney Pixar. We've got Elio, which is the Pixar movie.
Some say Elio.
Elio. I don't know which one. I saw the teaser trailer for it though. We've got
Win or Lose, which is the
Win-
Disney Plus series, Pixar.
the Snow White live action, the Lilo and Stitch live action, the Tron
Aries.
Ares, which is the third installment in Tron, third movie. Okay, and then we've got Zootopia 2 and
Freakier Friday, which is
Another
a new
one-
Freaky
another
Friday
Freaky
movie.
they've already made like 3 Freaky Friday movies. We get it. The mom and the daughter switch.
Yeah, but
places.
this one is freakier.
Okay. Does Lindsay Lohan come back in this one?
Yes, and Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe.
Oh,
I think they're all
Queen.
reprising their roles.
I love. So it's basically like a live action version of a movie they've already made. But the first
Well,
one was
it's a
also
live action version of a live action movie they've already made twice.
I'm losing my mind. Let me into the right.
Nothing like some really good original content coming your way from
Right.
Disney Studios.
Maybe it was original in the 90s.
Yeah.
Before Lindsay Lohan.
That is
was
all the
crazy.
content we were able to pull out of the internet for 2025. Like I said, it's heavy Marvel. And we've done in classic Disney
Zero
Assembled
research.
zero sort of prep on what we will say about each of these prediction categories. But
There's a lot of content for so few categories.
I feel compelled to start with the bold predictions.
Okay.
I mean, are you feeling bold prediction coming? I mean, do you feel a bold prediction?
Mine are still cooking, but
Right.
if
I
you
would-
feel so inclined to start with your bold predictions,
Okay.
go for it.
Bold predictions. I don't know how bold these predictions really are,
Okay.
but we'll go with this. Bold prediction number one. One of these, at least one of these Disney/Pixar movies is going to make $1 billion.
Okay.
One of these Disney/Pixar things we mentioned is going to make $1 billion.
You don't know which one. You're just casting a wide net.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Tron Ares is going to make $1 billion.
Okay, this isn't necessarily a fully cooked bold prediction, but I was thinking
Even with Jared Leto.
that maybe Tron Ares will be better than I
This
think
is
it
bold predictions. Remember, bold predictions.
I think I'm just going to leave my bold prediction like that. Tron Ares will not be a flop the way I imagine it being a flop. Good, because the second Tron movie did really well. I don't remember what it was called. I haven't seen it because it came out in like 2014. But I remember it doing really well, and it was trendy.
Right.
And it made a bunch of money. So maybe the third one
I think the world is finally ready for Tron. It has been so ahead of its time.
Especially with the attraction that's open now. Like, I think maybe there's some hype around Tron.
Right.
Okay, a bold prediction from me. I don't know. I don't really have any yet. Mine haven't like fully formed or cooked or anything. Maybe the Thunderbolts movie, not as good as everyone thinks it's going to be.
Really? That's a bold prediction. Is that a bold prediction, or is that going to be your biggest disappointment?
It's not going to be my disappointment.
Okay.
No. I have the categories in my head already. But I think the Thunderbolts, I think a lot of people are really excited about them because all of the characters have been developed in their own respective TV shows.
Right.
And, everyone really likes the characters. But a lot of people liked the Monica Rambeau character, and some, not all people, liked the Miss Marvel character, and the Marvels was so bad. The Marvels was a flop.
Yeah.
So my bold prediction is that the Thunderbolts is not going to do as well as we think it will.
Right.
And
I got another bold prediction.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right. Fantastic Four First Steps. We will finally get a Fantastic Four film that is actually good. Okay. I think this is going to be, I'm predicting a bold prediction, Fantastic Four First Steps.
Okay.
Chef's Kiss.
Who plays Mrs. Fantastic? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know the name of the actress.
Okay.
The actor. I don't know.
Here's my bold prediction with the Fantastic Four movie. I'm going to go as far as to say that we are going to get some kind of award nomination for this film.
Really? All right.
Some Academy Award. Not necessarily acting, not necessarily Best Picture, but maybe costuming, set design, sound design, some sort of Academy Award for this film.
Right.
Now, I kind of want to take that same thinking and move it towards the Disney and Pixar category. Wicked was a massive success in the box office. And while Wicked was not Disney, like I understand that, but Wicked is on the Oscar campaign. It is slated that both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are to be nominated for You Have Coffee All Over Your Face.
No, I don't.
It's on your nose. That's disgusting. They are both slated to be nominated for Oscars for their performances in Wicked.
Right.
Now, hear me out. We all know how much I hate a live action film. We all know this. They're all bad. All of them. They're all bad.
Oh, come on.
Except for Cinderella. But Snow White.
Yeah, but Wicked's not on our list.
Snow White with Rachel Ziegler.
Wicked came out this year. It can't be a 25 prediction.
Right. I'm not talking about Wicked anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at Wicked as an example of a live action adaptation with the same score, with like truly just bombshell actresses that they hired, not nobodies that they pulled in off the street to play the characters, like, solidified, already well-known actors in this movie. Now, Rachel Ziegler as Snow White might be successful. The movie, maybe not, but her performance in Snow White might be successful.
Right, so
because she's already sort of established.
That's a bold prediction?
Yes, that Rachel Ziegler will be the redeeming quality of the Snow White film.
All right. Bold predictions out of the way. We need to get into the real predictions here. And we got 5 categories of predictions. We'll start with the best overall content. So of all the things, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, Pixar, what do you believe the best content will be in 2025?
I think Daredevil. Born Again.
Do you?
I'm going with Daredevil because of the success of the R rating with Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think if it keeps that same edginess, and obviously Deadpool is kind of a silly character, but if they keep that edginess and maybe throw in a little bit of humor and really truly stick to like who Daredevil is and similar to the original Daredevil series, it could be really, really good.
All right.
Could be really, really good. There's not a whole lot on the list so far that I'm really excited about.
So you're going with Daredevil Born Again.
I'm going with Daredevil Born Again.
And
Andrew agrees with me.
I am doubling down. I'm doubling down on my 2024 thought process. Last year I picked The Acolyte. And we all know how that turned out.
Lop.
I know how much I enjoyed Andor season 1.
So good.
They're only making 2 seasons of Andor, so this is it. I am predicting that Andor season 2, I'm sticking with the Star Wars for best overall. Andor season 2 will be the best content that Disney puts out in 2025. That is my prediction for best overall.
I think that's fair because it's the only thing from Lucasfilm that's coming out in this year. It's the only thing they're focusing on.
Well,
in terms of production.
It better be good.
So yeah, could be good. And the first one was really good. It was very successful. And I think the first one being good is already a good sign because the first one was a spin-off of a movie that wasn't even that good in the first place.
Right.
So it's looking good for Andor season 2.
Those of you watching on YouTube in the chat, let us know what you think the best overall Disney content is going to be in 2025. Let us know. We'll read it out here on the episode, right?
Okay.
So Andrew seems to have changed his mind.
You just convinced him.
Because Andrew said Daredevil would probably be best, and then he says completely Andor. So he's got to make up his mind. Andrew, you got to pick one. You can't sit on the fence here. You got to pick one. All right.
Those are both fair choices, though.
Most fun is the next category. And again, this is sort of, it may not be the best, but it was the one we walked out going, hey, kind of like, Solo. I enjoyed Solo, the movie.
I also enjoyed Solo.
That was fun. I thought cute. The Marvels was fun. Was it the best?
Good?
No. But was it fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this category is sort of the most fun, the one that you enjoyed. You eating your popcorn, you having your soda or whatever. And so Andrew's changed his mind. He's going with Andor. All right, Andrew, you're on Team Troy. All right, most fun. What do you have for most fun content of 2025?
So last year for most fun, I went Marvel. I went with Agatha all along. And I think I'm going to stick with Agatha all along. Or, I'm sorry, I'm going to stick with Marvel. I'm going to pick Fantastic Four. I think the Fantastic Four film, I think those characters are really dynamic, but they're also kind of weird. Like, they have weird superpowers. Like, I think comparatively to all the other superheroes that we have so far, they're kind of strange. And, there's like when I think about the Fantastic Four, I think about a very, like, campy, sort of goofy, silly movie. Not in a Deadpool way, but in a like Ant-Man, like how Ant-Man is kind of silly.
Right.
Like I kind of see that. And so I think if they really like hone in on that for these characters and, really truly work with the dynamic of the four of them. And I mean, Pedro Pascal also has phenomenal comedic timing. Like we all know this from The Mandalorian because that show is not funny. So when you need the funny moments to hit, you gotta have someone good going on in there. Right. And so I think Fantastic Four, the revival, I think it's going to be a really fun movie. Will it be the best movie that comes out? The jury's still out, I think, on that, because I don't really trust Marvel with their films recently. But I just have a feeling that it's going to be a really fun theater experience.
Cool. I think the most fun, I have a toss-up here. They're both Marvel. I'm not sure. I think it's either going to be Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the animated show.
Okay.
Or the Thunderbolts movie.
The Thunderbolts could also be fun.
So I think I'm going to go, I'm looking at the most fun. I'm going to go with Thunderbolts. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think Thunderbolts is going to be the most fun. I think it's going to be, I hope it has enough humor in it to make it feel kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, but with these different characters. So I think Thunderbolts is going to be my pick for most fun.
That's fair. I thought about the Thunderbolts too, but I think all of those characters have their own humor in their own little spheres. Like, I mean, like Kate Bishop is funny in her own way, and Helena Belova is funny in her own way, and John Marshall, is that right?
U.S. Agent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's funny in his own way, and I'm not too convinced that they're all going to mesh super well.
I'm not convinced they're all going to live through the movie. I think they're going to use this
There's
movie as a way to
many.
get rid of some of these characters that probably they're not looking to continue using all that much. But I think the Thunderbolts has the potential because Yelena, Bucky, Red Guardian.
Maybe they finally kill off Bucky. Maybe it's time to get rid of Sebastian Stan.
I don't think so. He's too handsome.
He's had such a long contract with them. It's been like 20 years.
Well, you got to make that money. So there we go. We're two categories in. We had best overall, and most fun. The next category is biggest surprise. So this is the one I'm going to say for this one. I want to be surprised, meaning a positive surprise. One that we didn't think would be so good, but is much better than we thought it was going to be, as opposed to a disappointment.
Okay.
So I think for biggest surprise, a surprise being a positive surprise.
Okay.
So which of these things do you think is going to be better than maybe you were expecting it being?
I think I'm going to go with Zootopia 2. I think I'm going to move into the Disney Pixar category, and I'm going to say Zootopia 2. I think the sequels are really hit or miss, but I said this last week. I just watched Moana 2, and I thought it held up to the original film really nicely, and I felt Frozen 2 did as well, and the first two Toy Story sequels did as well, right? But I think maybe Zootopia 2, because these characters have really had a lot poured into them in the last few years. They've really been received well by audiences, and I think that there's a lot of practical humor that can be used with the animal puns, right? And so I think it's going to be better than I anticipated being.
That's a good pick. I was actually leaning a little bit towards Zootopia 2 for biggest surprise. I think for biggest surprise for me, I have to start from the place of something that I'm not expecting to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of expect Zootopia 2 to be pretty good because I enjoyed the first one, even though it could be much better than I kind of anticipated being. So I kind of see where you're going with that. But if I'm looking at this list, I'm not really giving Elio a big. I'm not really. It's not like I'm not really excited for that film, but it's Pixar and it's got the potential to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna. Maybe this is an easy pick for me because I'm not thinking about it, but I think Elio will be the biggest surprise. I think it'll be much better than maybe I anticipated it being after. Because I'm like I said, I'm not the story. You know, he gets the alien. Isn't that the thing with the aliens? And they take the kid, and he's supposed to be the.
He wants to be abducted by aliens. He's kind of an isolated kid, and he's obsessed with space aliens, and he wants to be abducted by aliens so that he can explore space. And they abduct him basically, and he says he's the king of the earth, and they treat him like he's the king of the earth, and he learns how to make friends.
Right.
And I think the teaser trailer did it justice, and I wanted to put it for biggest surprise, but I'm actually really excited about this one. I think it's going to be a hit. However, I don't think it's going to be the best overall, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be the most fun. But I think comparing Marvel and Pixar are very apples and oranges. But I want to say for the record right now, I'm fine. Go ahead and put it in bold predictions. Elio is going to be successful, I think. I mean, Inside Out 2 was successful.
Right.
And I think this is kind of similar in vibe, intention, story, message. So, yeah, I think Elio's going to be good. So that's a great choice.
All right, that'll be my pick for biggest surprise. The next category.
Andrew said he thinks Captain America is going to be the biggest surprise. Hopefully.
All right. So does that mean, Andrew, you don't expect it to be good, but you think it's going to be much better?
I think that's fair because the show Captain and Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier was so bad.
Yeah.
So
and they've had to reshoot a lot of scenes and redo that movie. I don't know. I'm not
because they changed the plot altogether.
Well, we are getting into the category where we start thinking negatively about a couple of things. And the next category is the worst content of 2025. So what do we think the worst of all the things is going to be? Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
I think you should go first.
All right. So there are many things that I'm leaning towards for the worst of 2025 because some things are I don't have high hopes for, and I don't think they're going to be really good anyway. So I'm torn one way or the other. I think I'm going to go because it's a heavy Marvel year. And I think because there's so much Marvel coming out, there's some things I think are just going to get lost in the shuffle.
Right.
I'm going to predict that Ironheart, the Ironheart series, is the worst content of the year.
I hate Ironheart.
I really didn't connect with that character in Wakanda Forever.
That's
and this
movie
show,
she was in?
well, yeah, she's the college student that made the other armor. Riri Williams. This show was filmed years ago. Like they filmed this a long time ago. And it's been sitting on a shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it even relevant anymore?
Yeah. I don't have high hopes for anything that's been sitting on a shelf that Disney's like. There's no reason to hold something that you think people are going to want to watch because it helps with people signing up for your streaming service. The fact that they've just sat on this
makes me
think that, yeah, probably not the best. There's plenty of things here to pick from. I think Ironheart is my pick, my prediction for the worst of 2025.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I don't want to think too negatively about this year because, you know, it could be more successful than we think it is. But I kind of have 3 contenders going for this. And one of them is Ironheart. And I think it's because same thing, you know, they've been sitting on that content for so long. Is the story even relevant to what we're doing in the MCU anymore? Or are they just releasing it to get rid of it off of their shelf? I thought the character fell flat for me in the film. I also just don't think Ironheart as a character... Sorry, okay, don't cancel me. I don't really think she's super necessary. I don't see her as anything special. I mean, like, as a comic book character, not her... Like,
well, she's not a good replacement for Iron Man.
Right, she's not a good replacement for Iron Man. I think trying to replace Iron Man is a huge mistake as well, because do something new, do something creative rather than just replace your old characters. But I think like as Ironheart, not her as she was portrayed, like just her existence doesn't. Yeah, like her character makes me angry, and so I think Ironheart. I was also kind of leaning. My original line of thought was Lilo and Stitch and Eyes of Wakanda, because these are 2 entities that have characters that are really important to a massive amount of people. Wakanda is very much attached, obviously, to like T'Challa and like Chadwick Boseman and like all of that going on there. And then Lilo and Stitch, I mean, we've talked about this, about how there are certain characters that have become almost their own brand. Tinkerbell, Jiminy Cricket, and now Stitch, as these characters that are faces of the brand that are not Mickey Mouse. Does that make sense? Like they use Tinkerbell in pretty generic areas. They use Jiminy Cricket in these neutral spaces. They use Stitch in these neutral spaces. And I think when you're trying to create content to fall within the canon of those universes, I think you're going to butcher characters that are really important to a lot of people. There's 2 things going on here. Lilo and Stitch is a live action remake, right? That alone gives it the worst label for me, because I don't think any of the live action remakes are good. So there's that. You're butchering a character that already exists. Now, the Eyes of Wakanda, I mean, there's like nothing that has come out Black Panther has been bad for me. Like, I liked the first one. I liked the sequel.
I think it's going to be sort of a look at the past of Wakanda. So it's like a history of... But
I think that there is a certain standard that you have to uphold when you're handling that character and handling that world because of the tragedy that hit it. And I'm really I have a sneaky feeling that it's not.
So which one are you going with?
I think I have to go with Lilo and Stitch, because the live action remake thing really just beats out everything. It's so pointless. It's the same story as before with terrible animation. I know nothing about it. They're doing the same. I was talking about this with Andrew. They're doing the same Stitch Takes Over marketing campaign that they did when the original film came out. There is nothing about this film that is original. Sorry. Right. That's the worst for me.
On the Ironheart front, as you were talking, there's 2 reasons for the Ironheart character to be shown. One, if they're setting up a Young Avengers, this character would fit into the Young Avengers team, right? With Kate Bishop and Miss Marvel.
Well, Kate Bishop is in the Thunderbolts.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
The new Hawkeye.
Pretty sure she's in the Thunderbolts.
So she's not on the Thunderbolts. She's not on the list of team members in Thunderbolts. But the point is that could be a reason to bring it. But I just think, I don't know, maybe it's a good way to introduce something else that happens in the other movies. They have to connect it to something, but we'll have to wait and see. The next category is biggest disappointment. This is the thing that we have some sort of high hope for, but we're probably predicting that it's not going to meet our expectations, right? As a disappointment. Maybe not the worst piece, but it was the biggest disappointment. Do you have any thoughts around that, or you want me to go first?
I think I'm going to go with Andor season 2, because I think it'll be bad. I really don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be very good, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. But the first season ended so well. Like, the first season was so good. Like, it's up here. Can you match up here? No. Right. I think it's going to fall short of the first season, but that's kind of normal and I think expected, right? I mean, the second season of Mandalorian didn't match up to the first one, and that's okay. That's just kind of how these things go. The second season is never nearly as good as the first when it comes to a series like this. It's not a sitcom, right? Like, you have to have a story that is as good, right? And so I'm not convinced that Andor season 2 is going to hit this same mark that the first season did. I don't think it'll be bad. I just don't know if it'll be as good.
Andrew thinks that Lilo and Stitch is going to be a disappointment, and Andrew is a huge Stitch fan, so that may be something there. I see your reasoning around Andor season 2, because trying to live up to how good season 1 is can be somewhat of a disappointment. I'm going to stick with my sort of Marvel area, and then I have some more bold predictions, because as we were talking, I got some more bold predictions. I'm going to predict that the biggest disappointment of 2025 is unfortunately going to be Captain America: Brave New World. I really want this to be good. I'm really looking forward to Harrison Ford as General Ross, the Red Hulk, the evolution of the Captain America character, because I do like Captain America. I don't have a problem with Sam being Captain America. And I like what they're trying to do, and they're introducing the new Falcon with Cap's friend. Again, it's another movie that's had to go through a number of rewrites and some new scenes, and every movie goes through this, right? It's not like that, but it just feels like they're struggling to figure out exactly what it's going to be, and of course, connecting it to the larger MCU. So I have relatively high hopes for Captain America: Brave New World, but I think it's going to be the biggest disappointment of all the things. All right, those are our categories for predictions for 2025 Disney content. As I said, I have some more bold predictions. I don't know if you do. So let me jump in with that. Okay. And then maybe you have something to add. I am shocked that I didn't mention the live action Snow White or the live action Lilo and Stitch in any of my bold predictions. But to be truthful, the Snow White one was really up there with potentially the worst. Because I am really worried. First of all, the live action Disney remakes they're never right. But when there's some nostalgia around the originals, especially these like Snow White was the original. She was the OG of the OG of the OGs. And Snow White, the animated feature film, has such a huge prominent place in Disney history. It was the first full-length animated feature. And without it, there would be no Disneyland, there would be no Disney World, all that stuff. I'm really worried about Snow White, and there have been a lot of sort of hate online for it. But here's my bold prediction. The live action Snow White is going to be good.
Well, I said that.
Well, you said it was going to be up for like an awards and stuff. You said it was going to be better than people think. I said
that I think Rachel Ziegler is going to be very good.
I think that. And
she will get her props.
Right. And I think Gal Gadot as
Gal Gadot.
Gadot. I think she says Gadot.
Okay.
I don't know.
Miss Wonder Woman.
The former Wonder Woman, I think, is going to be really good as the Evil Queen. Even though when they transform her, I wonder if they're going to do CGI or if it's going to be practical effects.
I hope it's practical, because I think part of why Wicked was so successful is because they did practical effects.
You know what would be really funny is when she decides to be like the ugly hag, and she does the thing to be the ugly hag, because I mean Gal Gadot is not ugly at all. That she actually becomes more beautiful. Like she
Yeah.
transforms into like, I don't know, Margot Robbie, right? And she goes out there as Barbie, right?
Bro, Barbie was so good.
Yeah,
I
it's not going
love
to happen.
Barbie.
I think it's going to be CGI old hag.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I had a bold prediction and I lost what it was. I don't know. Oh, I do remember. Okay, we have a confirmed Red Hulk appearance in Captain America, and that makes me wonder. Like, the last time I looked at the Hulks, we had a She-Hulk moment, and so I'm curious. Bold prediction, maybe a cameo, maybe an end credit scene with her, something to do with that character, because we have not seen her since her show came out in 22. So
I think we've seen the last of She-Hulk for a while.
I think that's possible. Also, like, I'm not advocating that she's here to stay, but since we have the Red Hulk, which was also like there was a Red Hulk cameo in She-Hulk at the end of that series. If they bring her back, I think there'll be a cameo. I don't think she'll be a prominent character, but maybe a cameo.
I think, and I'm hoping that there's an end credit with some Hulk content on Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah,
but I think it won't be because Hulk was in She-Hulk, and then Hulk's son was introduced in She-Hulk.
Yeah,
and that's all part of the World War Hulk piece.
Well, didn't they scrap that?
Well, you never know what's going to happen now because the X-Men are coming.
True.
So we'll have to wait and see. Any more bold predictions on your part?
Maybe an X-Men movie announcement.
Maybe a Destination D23.
Maybe an X-Men movie announcement. Maybe some more development with the Star Wars films. And I really think we're gonna have a smashing box office / Academy Award success out of Disney this year that we have not seen in quite a while. So
that would be great.
That would be great.
What do you guys think? So if you've been listening to this episode on the podcast, you may have thoughts. Mimi, do you want to share with everyone how they can get in touch with us, give us their opinions about things, and
in this week's
new trivia question.
So the question, this card is hard. This is a hard, difficult question card. Okay.
Is it difficult?
What animal does Franny teach to play music in Meet the Robinsons?
One more time for everybody, nice and loud.
What animal does Franny teach to play music in Meet the Robinsons? So if you guys here on the podcast or here on the live know the answer to that question, please feel free to send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or for our folks here on the podcast, if you guys want to give us your thoughts, opinions on our predictions or your predictions, please feel free to message us, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Disney Assembled. Andrew on the chat here on the live got the question or answered the question.
But he did not get it correctly.
It was not correct though.
Mm-hmm.
So so if you guys want to support the show further, the link to our TeePublic, Patreon, Buy Us a Dole Whip, all that other awesome stuff is on the website, DisneyAssembled.com.
Yeah, and if you are listening to the podcast, you could have been watching this live on our YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that. But if you're listening to the podcast, go to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. That way you will get, you'll be able to catch up with us if we do this again. I don't know. We'll see how well this goes. We really enjoy doing this.
If you're listening here on the live, stick around for a few minutes, but we are going to round out the podcast episode. So when we say see you real soon, you guys here on YouTube, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, stay there on the YouTube channel. But you guys on the podcast listening, if you want to help us out some more, ratings and reviews really, really help, especially on your podcast player of choice. If you can do a rating and review, we'd really appreciate it, especially Apple Podcasts. Reviews are great. Spotify, you can rate us there. If you're listening on Good Pods, first of all, I want to thank you, because if you've been listening to us on Good Pods and doing all the sharing and the giving us the thumbs up and all that good stuff, on Christmas Eve, we woke up and we shared this on our socials. So if you're following us on socials, you already know this, but we found out on Christmas Eve that we were the #1 indie leisure podcast on Good Pods on Christmas Eve. So they redo their ratings each week. Yeah, congratulations. There we go. High five there. We've made it. We said we wanted to reach #1 at least once. We finally made it. I don't know if we're #1 right now, right? Because they redo it, but we were for a brief period of time. And I have the screenshot to prove it. So thank you for listening and thank you for your support, because we finally made it. Top of the world, Ma. Top of the world. All right.
All right, guys.
Good episode.
Yeah.
Those are our 2025 Disney content predictions. We hope that this episode brought a smile to your face, some joy to your day. Is it joy to your day? Mm-hmm. Yeah, some joy to your day, smile to your face, and that all-important sprinkle of pixie dust to your week. Thank you so much again for listening. And until next time, see you real soon.
Alrighty, friends of the live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening and watching. Sorry, I have to save the episode so we don't accidentally delete it.
Because we were recording the podcast on a separate computer with a separate mic right next to this one while we were doing the YouTube. So we finally got on YouTube. We've been wanting to do YouTube, but you're never here. I guess we could do it through StreamYard remotely.
Oh yeah, I guess we could.
Because you would be where you are and I'm here, and we just
we finally got to do. Excuse me, some live stuff. Yeah. I'm tired. We had to get up this morning and go to the
mall. We've been going full steam ahead.
Yeah,
and everything else. So hopefully you had fun watching this live on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate all of you who joined in. So we saw Andrew, we saw Dillas Diz, we saw Jeffers.
We saw Fulton.
Fulton was there. Congratulations again. Happy birthday, Fulton. Lisa was there.
Yep.
And
yeah.
All that
and
good
more,
stuff.
Probably.
And more who probably didn't chime in, which is fine. You don't have to chime in. No shame. Some people just like to lurk. They like to watch. They like to listen.
Some people like to lurk.
They're lurking. Okay. They're lurking. They're lurking in the YouTubes and they're watching us. So it's all good. We haven't put much out on YouTube lately, but we've been really excited for this end of the year contest. We have a couple other things coming up. We probably won't be doing this live on YouTube, but you never know. We have to do our Corridor of Excellence.
And
right?
The content awards.
And the content awards.
And the goals.
And the goals for next year. So content awards will be the awards we give out at the end of the year to the Disney stuff that came out this year, which is also written down somewhere.
Yeah, this whole paper is for the end of year stuff. So
right. Yeah.
Okay. They know. They get it.
It's all good.
All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was so much fun.
It was a ton of fun. We really appreciate you lasting this whole time. If you stay with us the whole time. And again, good stuff. Is that all? Anything else?
That's not how you end this. Okay,
we have to have fun and ending for the live stuff. Like, go away. Right. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. And now now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Bye.